It's the 19th of August and the weather has certainly changed. It's quite cool today. So maybe we won't have to do as much watering. Anyway, last week or maybe the week before, I decided to tidy up the strawberry bed. It had become infested with weeds because of all the watering that we had to do. The weeding has been a little bit lax. Anyway, when I was weeding the strawberries, I noticed there were a load of runners. And so I thought what I'd do was pot up some of the runners because we do need to replace one of our old strawberry beds with a new bed. So in this bed we've got 3 different varieties of strawberries. This end we've got a dozen Cambridge favourites. In the middle we've got a dozen Pegasus, and at the far end we've got a dozen of something that I can't pronounce. We call it Oniho, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it. It's Honeoye. So anybody who can give us tips on how to pronounce it, gladly received. Anyway, what I'm proposing to do is to take off enough runners from each variety to fill one of these trays of pots. There are 15 pots in a tray, so I'm hoping to get 15 runners off each variety. Should get 15 off the Cambridge favourite. I'm certainly not sure about the ones at the far end, the Honeoye or whatever it's called, Honoi, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to get on now.
While Sue's busy over there trying to sort out our next strawberry bed with those cuttings, I'm going to try and get up these. I'm going to start with the potatoes from where I left off. So over there are 2 rows of Sagitta potatoes. They're grown from our own tubers because I couldn't find any at the garden centre, and they gave us an absolutely brilliant crop last year in 2024, so we definitely wanted to have another go. So we used some of our own saved seeds, if you like, saved seed potatoes, and had a go. Obviously it's not been a great year, as you'll know. We're having a bit of a potato disaster, but nevertheless I'm going to have a go, see what's on these. If it's possible, I'd like to try and dig the bed over, even if I finish up leaving it in a rough state to be left over winter to see what happens. Anyway, I'm going to get on, see if I can get some of these up and see just how good or bad they are. I'm probably about halfway through lifting these Sagitta potatoes, and it's a bit like lifting spuds from a different world. It's hard to believe these have been in and had the same conditions as all the other spuds I've been lifting. They're the ones off this side of the bed, and those over there, the ones off that side, and there is some lovely spuds in these. There's nothing wrong with these are good for us, good for jackets. I enjoy a jacket potato. Didn't think we were going to have any. Anyway, last year these potatoes produced an excellent crop. This year it's almost a saving crop. These are going to be the ones that will see us through winter. The only thing that's been crossing my mind while I'm getting these up is, should I put some seed potatoes away on one side for next year? couldn't see any at the garden centre this year, so we had to use some of last year's Sagitta seeds or stuff we were going to use at home for eating. Save, I had some left, use those for planting up this bed. I'm going to have to save some for next year just in case we can't get some. These are certainly the best spuds we've had for some considerable length of time. So I'm going to get on now, get a few more up. They are out, and it's without doubt our best crop of potatoes this year. There's some really nice potatoes on these. Some of them really good size. See it from that. Nothing wrong with those. Odd one has some damage. I've caught the odd one with a fork. Other than that, absolutely brilliant crop from Sagitta again this year. Certainly produced, even in dry weather.
So while Martin's been digging potatoes, I've been taking runners off these strawberries, and to be honest, there have been far more than I thought. So I've got 18 plants from Cambridge Favourite, which I thought were going to be the best runners, but are actually the smallest, maybe because that's one of the latest to fruit. And as I've been taking runners off, I've taken all the runners off that I didn't want to keep, all the sort of ones that hadn't really formed a plantlet, and a lot of the dead leaves. So moving round, oops, I've got another 18 from Pegasus, some of which were quite big. So they're from these plants, Pegasus. And then another 18 from the unpronounceable one, Honoi or Honio or whatever, which I thought wouldn't have many runners, but in the end they've had the most well-developed runners. In fact, I've potted up a couple which are just about plants. Well, they are plants. Maybe a bit more tidying up of the leaves that I've missed. But then I think the next plan is to give this bed a good mulch with some compost or something, and hope that they survive through the winter. So I better give these plants a water and tidy up all my mess. So we've managed a small harvest. It's about par for the course these days, isn't it?
Certainly is.
So I decided I'd pick a few flowers, even though the stems are quite short on the dahlias, and for some reason we only seem to have yellow dahlias, the odd pink one, so I picked some cosmos to add a bit of colour to it. Some onward peas. Peas aren't very prolific this year, are they? Some Loch Ness blackberries. Defender courgette tucked in between those tubs. Some sun gold. Are they all sun gold?
Mostly sun gold.
Sun gold tomatoes. Some vine climbing French beans. And what are those runner beans?
They're a mixture. They're what seeds we had left.
Yeah.
So we mixed them up so we don't know.
They're quite small, the runner beans, but we don't think they're going to grow much bigger, do we? And then there's, I think it's a trombino, but that could be, maybe I'm missing a bit off it there, courgette. So that's the lot for today. We're heading home now, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it didn't rain again. So thanks for watching.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.